Hello everybody. Today we are going to look at the outcomes of bariatric surgery and try to understand who are the eligible candidates who should undergo this operation and why. Bariatric surgery exists in the world since more than now 75 years. Initially for long many years it was done as open operation. After 1990, after we came across the laparoscopic technical advancements, the operations became comfortable to the patients, and then the problems could get solved very easily after the bariatric surgery. These are the problems which obese patients feel, obese patients suffer from because of the disease itself. Let us try to understand much more about obesity, because now we know obesity doesn't talk about only size and shape of an individual, but it is proven as a serious metabolic disorders, and it is accompanied by multiple complications in the metabolism. Obesity impacts one's life in two ways. One is the mechanical impact by the sheer kgs of weight. For example, the joint problems or the early destruction of the joints prematurely, the varicose veins, the stress incontinence, the obesity hypoventilation syndrome, or obstructive sleep apnea like syndromes. When we want to treat obesity, we also need to understand that fat is the biggest endocrine organ of the body, and it has got a lot of chemical activity in terms of secretion of lot of hormones, enzymes and peptides. All these together form a fine balance, or you can say a cluster of or a chain of events which finally leads to the energy balance, what we know it as metabolism. So when we talk about obesity and bariatric surgery, we need to understand a little more about the disease itself, and then we come across what are the indications of treatments, what are the different types of treatments, and exactly where does bariatric surgery stand. I come from the International Center of Excellence. What we mean by that is obesity is declared as a medical disease by the American Medical Association. Obesity is declared as a serious medical disease by the American Medical Association, and it has got a number of etiologies and impactive factors. We need a multidisciplinary team which will tackle the disease as a whole, and the team involves endocrinologist, physician, physiotherapist, nutritionist, dietitians, psychologist, and also the bariatric surgeon. So under the International Center of Excellence concept, we have got protocoled treatments which will evaluate the patients completely, and then we go ahead with the proper treatment for the proper patient. Why we need to talk about obesity a lot nowadays? Obesity, and particularly its combination with diabetes, wherein the WHO has coined this term newly, diabesity, comes up as the global epidemic, and it is declared as the biggest threat to the mankind in this century. It is just next to HIV. So it has got a huge spread, it has got a very big vertical height in terms of complication rating, and it also has got multi-level challenges. When we talk about obesity, let us try to understand the kind of impact of obesity on the mortality rate. You can see in this slide that there is a steep curve of mortality. When we cross the BMI of 30, the J-shaped curve becomes very steep after this BMI, because the mortality comes as one of the high consequences of premature deaths after obesity comes within us. At the same time, it is very important to understand that typically when we come from this 60 or 40 BMI towards the 30 and less than 30 BMI, automatically the death rate starts coming down. So obesity is a reversible disease. Obesity is a multifactorial disease. Obesity has got multiple levels in terms of mortality and comorbidity causation. And let's try to understand how typically Indian population or Asian population is affected by this. In this graph, what you are able to see is at the lesser BMI, because of a high fat percentage in our body, Indian Asians are typically victims of various metabolic disorders as compared to the Caucasian counterparts of us. So Caucasian people may not have diabetes or hypertension even after they cross the BMI of 40, but yes, in Indian patients you will start seeing the high prevalence of these diseases even after we cross the BMI of 30. What are the different characteristics of obesity and the metabolic problems which we need to know? Number one, obesity is a progressive and aggressive disease. Now the science has proven that there is something which is called as metabolic set point, and once this set point gets crossed over a particular limit, then typically the reversibility potential of the obesity and the related diseases starts falling down. Obesity is a progressive disorder. It will lead to more and more adiposity. It has got its impact on the beta cell dysfunction. It comes slowly and it is a painless disease. So there is a big chance of overlooking or negligence even if we suffer from obesity. And the most important thing is the reversibility potential starts coming down after a typical metabolic set point is crossed. Accordingly, the obesity is graded as class 1, class 2 and class 3. BMI up to the 25 is called as normal obesity, normal weight. BMI between 25 to 30 is overweight patients. Above the BMI of 30 till 35, it is class 1 obesity. 35 to 40 is class 2 obesity. 40 plus is severely morbid obesity. And in Asian Indians, as we saw that we fall prey to these diseases much earlier, at a much earlier BMI. So that is the reason why for Indian Asians the classes of obesity are minus 2.5 units than the rest of the world. So in our case, the severely morbid obesity starts at 37.5 as against 40 in the Caucasian counterparts of obesity. So when we want to talk about the treatments of obesity and the related comorbidities, what are the goals of the treatment? The medical science doesn't talk in terms of only the kgs or the inch loss. Medical science talks about the restoration of the metabolism. Even though there are some traditional, conservative or non-surgical treatments for obesity, which play a very important role in the treatments of these diseases, they are diets and they are exercises. In the diet, we have to understand that nutritionally oriented diet to be followed for the lifetime is an important thing in the obesity treatments. When the metabolic set point or the BMI's classification or the obesity class 1 is not crossed, the diets and exercise can work wonders. At the same time, once we start going above the BMI of 30, we have to remember that maybe we have to go on more and more harsh diets to get down the obesity, and after a certain time it may not have any kind of response from the body, because by that time the metabolism has become rigid. Similar thing is applicable to physical activity and exercise. Regular physical activity is very important in terms of keeping the fitness. It also improves your insulin sensitivity, but it is important to understand and remember that only exercises cannot treat obesity. Exercises along with nutritional diets are going to help to control the obesity up to a certain extent. Typically, when obesity crosses the BMI of 30 and when the metabolic derangements start appearing, it becomes very difficult for the body to be responsive or to stay responsive to various diet patterns and exercise patterns in terms of a sustained and successful outcome. There is something which is called as yo-yo effect. When the metabolic derangements have set in and when typically the class 2 obesity has come in, so above the BMI of 32.5 in an Indian patient, we are able to see that it is difficult to get down the obesity and it is very difficult to overcome the diseases only with diets and exercise on a long-term basis. There are studies globally done which talk about the best supervised non-surgical conservative treatments for the obesity and the related metabolic disorders, which have been able to show less than 8 to 10% of successful outcome at the end of 1 year. So in other words, any diets and any harsh physical activity is very important to maintain the weight, but it will be a difficult situation to expect that weights will remain maintained only with these two when typically the metabolic parameters have gone bad. As we all know, the medical treatments or the pharmaceutical treatments for obesity do not exist. They are not safe either, or they are not effective. Fortunately, we have got a fantastic boon for this treatment of obesity and metabolic diseases, which comes in the form of bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery is the gastrointestinal manipulation performed with the goal of change in the metabolism. This is achieved via various neuroendocrine mechanisms which can get stimulated after these gastrointestinal manipulations. Bariatric surgery has proven itself as the best scientific tool to treat obesity and metabolic disorders related to it on a successful, long-term and sustained manner. Here are some examples. You are able to see this is one gentleman who suffered from obesity and excessive hunger. Despite 3 attempts to lose weight very sincerely, he could get to minus 40 kgs from the 180 kgs. So he started with 180 kgs, he came down by 40 kgs 3 times differently at different time intervals, but unfortunately, despite of keeping the same lifestyle, he got bouncing back to the same weight. This is the typically yo-yo effect you are able to see here. And look at this, his second photograph, which shows a weight loss of 70 kgs within 1 year's time after the bariatric surgery. Similarly, you can see here one gentleman who doesn't seem to be very huge and obese. His weight was 110 kgs, but look at him, the central obesity. He was a lethargic person, a very tired kind of body he was experiencing. Of course, it had reflected on his all social activity and the personal life also. He was struggling with diabetes and hypertension. You can see after this operation of bariatric surgery, a fantastic achievement as far as the physical activity, as far as the control of the central obesity and the diseases related is concerned. There are multiple levels of action of this bariatric surgery. These are the various diseases which can get significantly improved or sometimes cured also after bariatric surgery, and one of them is typically type 2 diabetes and the obstructive sleep apnea. Like no system in the body has got any immunity towards the ill effects of obesity, similarly all these systems which can fall ill because of obesity can get reversal of the action once the obesity is treated with bariatric surgery. So these are the impacts of bariatric surgery as far as different diseases in the body which are caused because of obesity. You can see here one example. This gentleman came with an excessive appetite, was found to have acanthosis nigricans, and we all know that acanthosis nigricans and warts on the body, typically at the skin folds like neck, the armpit, the breast folds and in the inguinal regions. These are the areas which show warts and a lot of pigmentation, blackish pigmentation. These are the patients known as pre-diabetic patients. And pre-diabetes is one of the very strong causes of excessive appetite in an individual, and the individual really struggles to get over with this appetite, because we all know that nobody likes to be fat. So they are not willingly fat, but at the same time they are finding themselves helpless. After bariatric surgery, you can see the third photograph of this gentleman where the total acanthosis has disappeared, his weight has gone down, his gynecomastia, which is a secondary effect of obesity in the males, has totally come down, and he is now able to enjoy a disease-free life. Same thing about this lady. You can see at the age of 40, she was advised maybe in next 5 years you will have to go ahead with joint replacement because her joints were giving very bad trouble. They showed very early signs of destruction, and because of this it was obviously impossible for her to perform many kinds of physical activities. This one lady, you can see, like how diabetes is very closely related to obesity, a lot of hormonal imbalance belongs to obesity. A lady who is a happy person otherwise but struggling with infertility. PCOS. PCOS, we know, is a form of metabolic syndrome, and it is closely associated or commonly associated with insulin resistance. Obviously, PCOS patients will have weight gain. Obviously, these are the patients who cannot shed off good amount of weight, and the advice we give to them is go and lose weight. They don't understand if somebody else's body is responding to the diet and exercise, why my body is not responding. This leads to a kind of negativity or inferiority complex in these patients. You are able to see that after bariatric surgery, the insulin resistance has come down, her ovarian function has improved, and she is a person who was not having her periods without medication for more than last 8 years, is now able to have her periods on a regular basis without any kind of medical support. her ovulation, her cycles have become ovulatory, and she is now expecting a child, we can allow her to get pregnant after 1 year after the operation.
These interviews and events are featured by DocPlexus exclusively for the doctors of DocPlexus community. To receive updates regarding such upcoming events, please subscribe and like our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter. Happy DocPlexing!